banks in the world to embrace crypto, to embrace Bitcoin in 4 to 8 years would be fast. What you see here is it's happening much faster. What we've seen is BNY Mellon, PNC Bank, Citibank, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Vanguard, all of these have flipped from a hostile, negative, or skeptical view to a positive view in the last 12 months, right? We have announcements. Schwab is going to custody Bitcoin and extend credit against crypto assets early next year. Citi is doing the same thing. It used to be, I couldn't get a loan against Bitcoin from any major bank, and now if I counted the top 10 banks in the United States, 8 of them are actually engaged in crypto lending, and they've all flipped their stance in the last 6 months.
Do you expect this is where financial services is going? Are the major banks and the brokers out there today moving increasingly toward tokenization?
Oh, absolutely. And it's the way the world will be, here in the, maybe not even in 10 years, maybe even a lot less time, maybe a couple of years from now. So I think that all of this modernization of the markets, I think, is good. And the trouble that we've seen here over the past few years is that the SEC, unlike historically, it never was necessarily at the vanguard of pushing new innovations. It was always a little bit behind the market, of course. But here recently, it's been almost standing athwart the marketplace, and as it's as all these new innovations were coming about. So that's no more. We're actually embracing it, and I believe that we need to be embracing it to keep the United States at the forefront.
Endowment just bought a lot of IBIT, but I can tell you there are a number of sovereign funds that are standing by. They're adding incrementally at 120, at 100. I know they bought more in the 80s. Right. That's fine, and they're establishing a longer position, and you own it over years. This is not a trade.
The Venezuelan regime is a source of instability in the entire region. Over 8 million Venezuelans have flooded into neighboring countries as a result of the regime's activities within their own country, including into the United States. They also happen to be the foothold of Iran. That's not spoken about enough. Iran, its IRGC, and even Hezbollah has a presence in South America, and one of their anchor presence, especially for the Iranians, is inside of Venezuela. So
Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here with another episode of Scriptures in Wall Street. I hope you're doing well. So much is happening. Literally just so many distractions. Like, raise your hand if you're just like wanting just to hide and wake up one day and it all go away. I mean, distractions with the Fed, distractions with Charlie Kirk, distractions with the yields. Are they lowering interest rates? Are they raising interest rates? Oh, by the way, there's a thing called AI that might be taking your job, let alone we have Trump, obviously, with the executive order coming out saying that he's going to really push robotics. Well, what does that mean to everything? Well, let's talk about that for a little bit. So many things. Volatility is pretty much guaranteed at this point. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Carlos Cortez. I've been doing Scriptures in Wall Street. I'm the host of Scriptures in Wall Street. And we started this podcast and this journey about 4 years ago. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, go back, watch one of my favorite ones called The Color of Money. And as you guys know, I'll say my disclaimer here. Everything on this podcast is meant for information, education purposes only. Although I am a financial advisor, I am not giving investment advice or financial advice on this show or any other of my shows. I don't make recommendations on securities or anything of that nature. But if you would like investment advice, you can give us a call, 813-448-3446, or book your appointment online at cortezwm.com. and let's just see if we're a good fit. And even if I can help you look at your portfolio, get a second opinion, let you know what your expenses are and your risk are, standard deviations, what colors of money you have in your portfolio, what your true risk are. And maybe we need to transform your portfolio into more of a safe money portfolio where you actually have a bucket of money with principal protection. If that resonates with you, then give us a call, 813-448-3446. With that being said, guys, I'm telling you, man, like the robots are coming. I mean, they're already here, by the way. One of the interesting things is that it literally is going, we have this immigration situation going on. What if I told you that? Because my biggest thing with the immigration, and a lot of people in this space, our listeners don't really agree with me on that side. Hey, and that's cool. That's cool. As you know, I'm Spanish. I'm here legally. My father came here legally on a student visa, then joined the military and fought for our country and retired. He earned his stripes, right? So I'm very proud of that. My thing was, look, all the illegals are out there. Just put the uniform on. Give them a pathway to citizenship. You want to work in this country? I mean, they're already paying through an EIN system, right? Like they are the only ones supporting the Social Security beneficiary checks right now. No one's paying into Social Security. Everybody's 1099. Everybody is 1099. Like you have Uber Eat drivers, you have kids that want to be social influencers, YouTubers, TikTokers, you name it. They're finding ways to not go into a 9-to-5 situation, and they're finding ways to be 1099. All that is doing is taking money from the government. The government needs their welfare checks to give out welfare checks to the vulnerable, which is people on fixed income, the beneficiaries. So who's actually paying into Social Security? On top of that, we're sending monies to all these foreign aids. Like if I showed you how many billions of dollars just in COVID alone, I remember reading all the billions. I'm talking about hundreds of billions of dollars for stupid stuff that doesn't even make any sense. I had this one chart when I actually did in-person workshops and educational events. There was this one chart that was from like it was like 2021, and it like summarized all the billions of dollars we sent on stupid stuff like funding Chinese people to speak English, like funding like just weird stuff. I mean, and we're talking about millions of dollars. Things that had nothing to do with Americans trying to get back on their feet. We had so many COVID bills that were passed that at our detriment really crippled America. The same stuff is going on now with your IRAs and 401ks. Guys, I'm telling you, like, there's a whole nother ball game here. And you could actually go to Cortez tax bill. If you don't know how much money you're paying in your IRA, guys, I'm here to tell you, man, the money that we have sent to Israel, the money we have sent to Taiwan, the money that we have, the billions we've already sent to the Ukrainian narcissistic agenda over there is sickening. There's a way that they're getting this money. And in my opinion, it's going to be from the taxation of all that $34 trillion in unclaimed property known. Actually, it has been claimed because it never was not claimed. If you have a 401k and IRA, the government simply owns it. You don't. You're just a participant. I'll say that again. In your 401k, you are a participant. Go ahead and log in and see where it says account ownership. I'll save you some time. You probably won't find the words account ownership in your 401k because you're participating in a government written corporate sponsored plan written by ERISA, which is Department of Labor, and you are participating in a program and you're a participant. You know those group ID numbers, plan ID numbers. Notice you don't even have an account number. It's always a plan ID. Look at the verbiage. Yes, you are a plan participant. You are not guaranteed anything in that account, nor does your particular company have to give you a 401k. It's considered a privilege. Yes, it's a privilege to start a 401k. You should live the American dream. Max out your 401k, go to college, get a 401k, buy the 2-story house, a white picket fence, 2 cars, 2 kids. Life is great. Oh, and do that for 30 plus years, and hopefully you can retire with a few $1,000,000 divided by 2, because the IRS is going to get the other half. It was never yours. And particularly speaking, as you grow this account with a manipulated stock market, most 401ks will follow some type of Vanguard 60/40 blend, overexpose you, never even have a question about what your standard deviation is, never even question the risk that you're taking as a target fund participant. So many people, they don't want to hire a professional, or they just simply want to click a few buttons because it's convenient for them. So you buy these target funds. I know because I used to sell them when I first was a rookie financial advisor. Man, these target funds, they taught me everything I knew about target funds. And they were great because advisors could understand them. And then the clients could even understand them. And so they're institutionalized. What they've done is they've hired literally 16 to 20 different money managers or mutual funds, institutionalized to the fact that it doesn't matter if one mutual fund money manager goes bad. There's 20 others that are doing the same thing, a lot of overlapping. But what's interesting is that as you get older, it goes from equity to bonds. And it automatically does that. And guess what? There's a premium for that. They charge a higher operating expense. This is why mutual funds are dying. If you have mutual funds, the Dave Ramsey funds call them, it's an old fart. It really is old school way, and you will get your butt kicked. Think of a mutual fund like a big cruise ship. A big cruise ship. Can it literally stop and turn around? If there's waves, can it stop and pivot to the right or left? Yeah, it can. It will take a while. But the problem with that is it takes a while. Do you have a lot of time while the market is moving X speed? Probably don't. So when you have a mutual fund, you have billions of dollars, and they have to wait till the market's all settled after 4 o'clock. This is why you can't buy or sell a mutual fund past 3:30 Eastern. Sorry, I'm on the East Coast. So I'm always, anytime I say a time, I'm referring to the real American time, Eastern Standard Time. Right? We're first to the sun, is what I like to say. Sorry, I was being ego or what's it call it? Ethnocentrical or geographical centrical, whatever you want to call it. East Coast is the best. I'm sorry, that's just me. But anyways, I am saying due to the fact that the times are changing, guys. The times are changing tremendously. The reason why I mentioned 401ks is because they're going to start changing laws around 401ks like you wouldn't believe. They already have. They've already exposed it to private equity that custodians such as Empower or your Fidelity or your John Hancock or your Prudential, whoever your custodian 401k custodian is, they're going to have the ability to offer private equity and do things that are and crypto and other actual private equity funds. These are assets, higher risk assets that Also guaranteed income products such as annuities, insurance products, things that I'm an expert in, they're going to pick the menu. I don't know if you'd actually trust that. They're going to pick the menu, the buffet line of what you could eat at. So if you have a preference, moral preference, whatever type of preference you have, ethical preference, risk profile, you don't get to pick inside your 401k. You don't get to pick at all. You have to go with the flow and pick what's best suits you on a modeled platform. A platform that is a model. So we have this model, forced model. We call this closed architecture in my business, a closed model where you have a basket of certain funds. Typically, ironically, it's the same company that sponsors your 401k. So for instance, if you have a Fidelity 401k with your employer, guess what? You're going to have Fidelity funds. If you have a Prudential 401k, you're going to get a Prudential 401k. If you have a Ameriprise 401k, you're going to get Columbia funds, you're going to get RiverSource funds, and any type of Ameriprise written garbage money manager mutual fund. That is the 401k system, guys. The custodian, gives you the ability to pick and choose within their own proprietary funds. The question is, how much are you paying for that? What are the operating expenses? Are you okay when the stock market goes down? Is there a stress test involved? What does your 401k look like if there's another 2008 event? These are serious questions that you should be asking your 401k provider. Oh, by the way, you don't have an advisor because you're just a participant. Unless you call them and say, I would like to roll over my 401k, then all of a sudden, you're getting a whole team of people saying why you can't roll over your 401k. Because they're losing assets and they're losing their percentage. In my opinion, I could be wrong. So what I'm getting at is, guys, is that as we go into 2026, they're going to lower the interest rates. They're going to raise the interest rates. They're going to stall the interest rates. Whatever the situation is, I promise you, there's going to be some volatility involved. And what my biggest fear for many people that don't even have access to green money, they don't even have access to the ability to move their assets into something safe because they're either handcuffed or they're with an advisor that is already in a forced model. Whatever the reason is, they can't move it. Guys, I'm telling you, how smart would it be to have a bucket of money that you can rely on, that your principal is protected, and then guess what? Take that other half of money and just throw it into Wall Street casino. Maybe you're better at trading than I am. Maybe you want to day trade. Maybe you want to do what I do and option and cover calls and sell puts and just day trade in the morning. Maybe you want to do all that. I don't know. But you could, because the other half of your money is protected and growing with an index that has a historicals of over 45 years. That would be a whole lot better situation. You will be in a more prudent situation that God ordained and called you to be a steward of your assets. Literally, you could risk half of your money and try to grow. I'm sorry, you could protect half of your money and just try to risk and grow the other half. Like, that is a lot smarter than what some people do with their retirement. I talked to so many people that have millions of dollars, not like $100 grand, millions of dollars in the banks. in the banks. Like you don't own the money in your bank. I mean, you guys don't believe me when I tell you that. Like, this is freaking nuts. You guys legit don't believe me when I say you don't own the money in your bank. Bro, I just Googled this. Just do a quick internet search, guys. Oh, man. Wow. Google is actually dropping. They have no choice but to let it all out. They have no choice but to tell you the straight truth. Do I own the money in my bank account? Just go ahead and do an internet search. A Chinese CCP spy, a French spy, a Tel Aviv spy, whatever you want to call. You guys know that everything that you Google is going to be watched. So go ahead and put this on your internet browser. Do I own the money in my bank account? Yes, the money in your bank account is legally yours. Okay, look at this oxymoron. Yes, the money in your bank account is legally yours, but you are essentially a creditor to the bank, which holds it on your behalf. When you deposit money, you grant the bank ownership of the funds, and in return, the bank owes you that amount back on demand and agrees to keep it safe. The bank can use the money, but you retain the right to withdraw it at any time. Your right to withdraw whenever you need to, but it's the bank's right of set off. The bank can deduct funds from your account without your consent if you have a debt within that bank, such as an unpaid loan, bank failures, insured deposits up to $250 per depositor for each account, protecting your money if the bank becomes insolvent. Guys, what I'm telling you right now is this key word: the bank owes you that amount back on demand, agrees to keep it safe. The bank can use the money. Key word: the bank can use the money, but you retain the right to withdraw it. In other words, yeah, you have beneficial rights to the money to withdraw it if they have it. But if they deem that they're insolvent, I'm sorry, Cupcake, that money is gone. You got to wait for the FDIC to pay you back. This, my friends, is not a good situation. If you're comfortable with the banks, by all means, go ahead and get your 4%. I've heard so many people say, oh, man, I could go to the bank and get 4%. 4% what? Simple or compounding? And is 4% a teaser rate? Because let me tell you, I could go right now and look at CDs, and all these banks are sneaky, man. They will give you a high teaser rate. I saw one the other day. It was like 6%. FDIC insured, 6%. That's all it said. Terms, conditions, and terms, asterisk. Call for more information. Man, I'm sure that bank was... I'm sure that bank was getting calls up the yin yang until the CD rep or whoever the bank rep was saying, yes, it's simple interest and it's 6% for 1 year. The following year goes down to 4 years simple. The third year it goes down to 3%, and the following year is just 50 basis point, 0.50 simple. You are better off buying a 3% compounding CD for 5 years. You would make more money. But see, these banks, what they do is they mess around with simple and compounding, and they give you these rates. People don't realize it, and you got to have 100,000 plus to get those rates. There's a lot of terms and condition, guys. All that with being said, you don't own the money. So even if they give you those interest rates, you're in a zone, you're in another color of money that's not even safe anymore. What I mean safe is contractually ownership. Do I own my daggone freaking money? That's what you should be asking. You should be asking your advisor, do I own my money? What is my actual risk? What part of my portfolio is guaranteed? Like legit, you should ask your advisor, what part of my portfolio is guaranteed? It's securities. There's no guarantees, Carlos. That's what they say. Because they're indoctrinated by the red money system. They literally have to be risking your money in stocks and bonds and ETFs and mutual funds and MLPs and everything that about it, blah, 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 blah. And when the market goes down, we're going to go to safer investments such as bonds. Still, no principal protection. Because the government, call it the programming, the same people that jacked up holistic medication, natural medication, that said, oh man, those guys are cuckoo. Those guys are bad. That stuff doesn't work, those natural remedies. Let's put them over there and call them holistic doctors. You need real medicine. Here's some pills. Here's some chemo. Take the jab. Never mind you, you can go to covidvaccine.com and check out all the real news on what the jab has done. You can go to vaxdeaths.com and check out all the real news of all the people that have died suddenly because of the jab. It's the same thing in the financial world. We have problems with the banking system, but no one wants to talk about it in my industry because they're too scared. Oh, well, they're going to take your license away for speaking the truth? Well, let's expose that. Oh, you're just going to be blacklisted everywhere for speaking the truth. Hello, that's why we get our license, so we can be truthful with clients. It's crazy. What's even crazier is that when we have green money solutions, we can't even do them in all the states. Literally is a different product everywhere. And there's different state laws. Like we can't even do all these options in every single state. You would think so. But for instance, option 4, by the time you're listening to this, it's canceled. I'm recording this, and at the end of business day today, it is canceled. Like there's no 29% bonus. Interest rates are going down. You guys had 45 days to contact me. But even if you did make it on time, you had 0 at ages 65 and younger. You can get it in most states. Definitely not California, Maryland, Delaware. You can't access this. They have the 10-year version, which is was a 23% bonus. Not anymore. These rates are going down. And yeah. So anyways, we got another product that's pretty amazing, which I'm going to replace. Option 4 would be a 10% bonus, no fee, but we get 75% of the NASDAQ growth index, which is powerful. As you know, robotics are going to take off. AI is going to take off. Technology is always going to push ahead. They're propping it up. Might as well make money at no fees and no risk to you. So option 4 is going to be a growth account that's just going to be lights out. You're going to have to call me for me to show you what the projections are, but that's going to be option number 4. Unfortunately, the 29% bonus is sayonara, no more, no mas. It's gone. You had your time. And please don't call me on the 5th and saying, I want this. And I'm going to tell you, sorry, sucker. You can't have it. Nope. You had literally over 2 months. to call me. So yes, these accounts, so those of you that don't know what green money solutions are, they're insurance-based contracts. So we can say legally the word guarantee. The guarantees are provided by the strength of the issuing insurance company. And guess what? They have dollar for dollar cash reserves. So because these are A-rated carriers, they have cash reserves. Your state has a certain limit to it. They have a reinsurance company with cash reserves. So there's literally like 3 layers of protection versus the FDIC. God forbid, KRE takes a dump or any other banking index takes a dump. You could be at a vulnerable situation and a bank bailout situation. Very unlikely with an insurance carrier with billions of dollars. Has it happened before? Yeah, there's been solvency issues before, but a lot harder than a bank. So very safe. And guess what? You get a contract, actual contractual guarantee, not by me, not by Cortez Wealth Management. We're just advisors and brokers, but actual directly from the issuing insurance company. Now, the main rule that you need to know about all these products, I'm going to update this after the 4th. The main thing you need to know is that typically with these accounts, you can only have access to 10% a year. Majority of them don't even have a fee. The ones with the bonuses typically have a fee, or they lower your growth potential long term because they've given you money up front. They front load you. And typically what I mean by that is, like, if you get a bonus account, general terms, you'll probably just make 50% of the index, right? So if the index does 10, although you got a 23% bonus, let's just say, you're going to make about 50% of that 10%. And that index does 10 and you got a bonus, versus a no bonus option 3. Typically, you'll make 100% of the index. And if the index does 10, you're going to make 10% minus typically like a 2% spread. So you walk away with 8. But no fees, no risk, no bonus. I prefer the no bonus option because I love the full entirety growth of the index. And I'm watching every single month. And there's so many good indices out there that you could grow without being in the stock market. Now, if you want to be in the stock market and take risks, we got plans for that too. But for majority of you that are trying to retire and set your retirement and secure it and privatize it and not deal with the CBDC-like systems and the woke agenda and the interest rate risk and the media risk and the market risk, then green money might be a fit for you. And you've heard me talk about this all the time. Like, well, my advisor can do an annuity, Carlos. Yes, they can. But these are high growth fixed index annuities. These accounts are hand picked by me, by the carriers. I've interviewed all these companies. I've actually dove deep into the indices on how they work. And these companies align with our values. And these are companies that don't advertise during the Super Bowl. They don't advertise on the radio. They're quiet companies with billions of dollars, and they got the quiet leadership strength that you would want. If you're watching this, chances are we align politically, academically, medically, socially, and religiously, spiritually. This is why it's so important to have an advisor that agrees with what you agree in. Why would you talk to an advisor that is funding things that you don't like, that are anti-God? Maybe they're pro-Sharia law. Maybe they're Sharia law sensitive. Maybe they're pro-LGBT. Maybe they're pro-Israel government. Maybe they're pro-Ukraine. And they're like, we need to send them money. Meanwhile, the local cop or your local veteran or your neighbor veteran has PTSD and mental health issues, and the neighbor on the left, single mom that can barely make ends meet because she didn't have a man in her life to man up because He got wussified like most men these days. Any man can be a father, but can a man be a man and take leadership and provide and protect and make his woman safe, secure, and wanted? That's a man. And leading his family to the cross. That's a man. But they don't make them anymore like that. Right? Unfortunately, that's true. So what I'm wanting to do is we have to readjust, transform our portfolios going into 2026. The interest rates are coming down, guys. There's so many other things that I could show you with the banks. And as a matter of fact, let's take a look at something here. Don't buy an annuity unless you know how to double your money within 4 to 6 years. I'm talking about no fees, principal protection. The market goes down, you lose nothing. You get an annual statement because your money's not invested in the stock market. It's only credited by the index. And what is the number one index that I can find? That's going to be the NASDAQ. That's going to be AI. That's going to be technology. That's going to be healthcare technology. What are you doing not investing in that? You want to be able to have access to a principal protected account with no fees that has complete growth. If we look at the actual index, if you look at the NASDAQ, in 08, NASDAQ was down 41%. We made 53% the following year, a 19, a 2%, a 16%. In 01 and the dot-com bombs, we made 49, a 10, a 1. And so right now the NASDAQ is down. It's a great time to get in. When Trump got in 2016 to 2020, the NASDAQ yielded over 100%. You can now effectively get into the NASDAQ without risking your principal, have principal protection, have no annual fees, and get your gains locked in. This is not found in your mainstream broker. This is not found on Wall Street. As a former stockbroker, I wish I had access to this to my clients. Give us a call. We want to help you, and we can work with all 50 states. God bless. All right, guys. So what I want to show you is the volatility index is already piping. It went right back down. It is getting prime. So here's a volatility index, right? So I got my sell signal here. Boom. I just got a blue crossed earlier this month. That means the 200-day moving average, it's basically signaling that it's going right back up. Okay. So we're going to see some volatility probably around New Year's, or even what I think is going to be a Santa rally. I could be wrong, but regardless, we're going to see some volatility. So that's that. Now I look at silver. So here's a daily chart on silver. We're starting to see a turn of momentum on silver. I'm not saying that silver is going to sell off, but what we're doing here is that it's losing momentum. So when it starts losing momentum like this, what we're going to see is the stock market's going to go up. Precious metals does well when there's a lot of uncertainty. And gold is not too far off. It's 100% correlated. So now that we're seeing a lack of momentum on the silver, now I'm not anti-silver. You guys know that. I repeat, I'm not anti-silver. I'm just letting you know that there's volatility coming, and I think the stock market's going to go up. The reason why is because we're losing momentum on silver. The demand is going down. So that is going to mean the stock market is going to go up. And look at that. I just got a buy signal on Thanksgiving just a few days ago. You could buy some call options here and it wouldn't be a bad decision. Again, not investment advice. I'd probably be looking at SPXL, which is 3 times the leverage. Highly, highly risky trade, guys. But if I was to buy something like this, I have a trade range. We're at 215. So Let me see here. Finance. Where are we at on SPXL? SPXL. Yeah, 223. We're at 223 right now after hours. You could be looking at 225 option calls if you get them for cheap. They're probably real expensive. I would even go to 220 or yeah. No, I would probably, I mean, if you can get 230, 225 would be ideal. The next level would be 227 or 230. Those would be ideal. And I would buy those like 1 month out. That's it. January calls. That should be a profitable trade. Again, this is not investment advice. Do not invest in this with money that you cannot afford to lose. Don't be putting rent money or money for bills into that. But I do like, personally, I do like a call option here. 1 month call option probably would be profitable. Again, this is not for retirement. This is not for investment advice. This is not financial advice. Do not call my office and say, hey, I lost money on that trade, blah, blah, blah. Well, I didn't tell you to take it. I'm telling you right now, I didn't tell you to take it. I'm just saying for education purposes and information purposes only that this would be a good call option here. Because precious metals are going down. That means the stock market's going up. I get a buy signal. The momentum's going up. Like, what more evidence is there? It's information. That's what it is. So SPXL is 3 times the S&P 500, guys. So if I'm wrong, you would lose 3 times that amount unless you bought the call option. You can only lose for the premium. So your downside risk is limited. So if you only spent $500 on call options, that's the most you could ever lose is $500. So proceed with caution. I just think it's a cool, fun trade going to the Santa rally, which is fake, by the way. It's not going to last long. It's going to hit the you know what's. But yeah, SPXL, probably a great call there. Oh, you remember that one thing called Bitcoin? You remember when you guys were laughing at me when I said this thing could go down like 85? Didn't I say that just a few podcasts ago? Well, would you look at that now? I was wrong. It hit down to 84.09. 84. And we might see a pop here. But I'm telling you guys, if it goes lower, hopefully it goes down to like the 70s, 60s, and a dream would be in the 50s. Man, again, not investment advice, but I would be picking up a lot down any lower than this because the next bull run, probably we're looking at a $200,000 coin. I'm sorry, a digital asset, a Bitcoin. Yeah. I mean, that's reality. That's how the cycles are. Every time it comes down, it pops back up way stronger. Look at this dip here. Look what it did there. It went from 104 all the way down to 79, shot back up all the way to 125. That's Bitcoin, man. Every time it drops, it comes flying back. Right here back in 21. It was at 61. I remember it went at 30. Bam. It went to 74. People's mouths were like on the floor. They couldn't believe it. Like, this thing is fake. It's going to crash. And it went down because people were fudding and selling, and it went back down to 33. I remember that. And guess what? About 2 years later, it melted faces and it jumped all the way to 73. Doubled. And people saw and started believing, institutions got in, and then it broke 100. You guys remember that? Back in 24. This time last year, broke 100. Then it went down to 79. I mean, look, it goes down and it comes back up with a vengeance. Be very careful, guys. Do not place your retirement. I'm not recommending Bitcoin. Crypto is extremely dangerous, just so you know. Red money. Not all money is bad. Not all red money is bad. It's just you got to understand the risk. So there's a lot of theories. Oh, it's going to go to. Look, I know some big dudes, man, like smart guys, hedge fund guys that were early to the game. They already did the math, everything on that. I mean, they had conventions on this stuff before the conventions even had. And these guys were very well decorated in their acumen. And they were saying basically Bitcoin will eventually be $1 million a coin. Within this, during COVID, they said within 10 years. So I think they're a little too early. I believe it will be $1 million a coin, possibly in 7 to 10 years from now. I think they're a good 8 years ahead, but yeah, it's definitely going up, and you just got to be comfortable with losing 40, 50% at a time. That's Bitcoin. So this is why you don't put all your money into it. The best way to buy Bitcoin is just have it on auto pay or auto buy, like automatically every single week buy $100. Boom, boom, boom. If you bust out the compound calculator, and the average return over the past 20 years has been 40%. So if you do 40% on a compound calculator, not that it's guaranteed to make that is red money, you will have losses in crypto. I promise you that. But if you keep on buying it for 5, 10, 15 years, guys, you could have millions of dollars in 15, 20 years. Like, it's that simple. So again, it's highly speculative. I wouldn't count this as your retirement vehicle. Remember, I'm a big fan of green money, securing your money, grow wealth in a safe, effective manner that is proven to have guarantees, proven to help you. You can pull out 4 to 6% and possibly never even touch your principal. Like $1 million goes in, you're pulling $40,000 to $60,000 a year, and your $1 million is still there. You pulled $1 million out in 5 years, you still got the $1 million in there. Now it grew to 1.3 million. And you pull out another $1 million in another 5 years. That 1.3 million is now 2 million, and you pulled out 2 million. You see how that works? We're just pulling the interest and growing our principal very nominally, nothing crazy. That's the aim. That's the projected goal. And we can set something like up for you with green money. All you got to do is give us a call, 813-448-3446, or visit us at cortezwm.com. So many amazing things that we can do that are coming in. So robots are going to basically replace all the traders. I'm also, just so you know, you got to like and subscribe our YouTube channel and our Rumble channel. I need some help there. Even though we're syndicated and all over and we're growing, Scriptures in Wall Street's growing, but I'm going to show you some really cool ways where we can have robots trading for you, generating an income. I promise I'll give you the information. I'm doing some due diligence right now that is going to melt your faces. The goal is to not have to go to work, but only work on things that you want to do, and you can fire your boss. I'm telling you, man, the people that listen to my show will be blessed with knowledge and applied knowledge, and I will be your guinea pig. I'm using my own money. You guys have no idea what I'm working on. It's going to melt the faces off, and only the people that watch my show will be the benefactors of it. So that is my commitment to you. There's going to be some amazing, amazing technology that you probably never heard of. Guys, one of my greatest talents is finding things before it happens and monetizing it. as you can see. So anyways, God bless you guys. Continue to watch. Always keep the cross first. I want to show this quick little video of my son's hockey school. Worshiping Jesus. It's not about all hockey. I love this group. They have chapel on Wednesdays and they kick butt during the weekends. I love them. But yeah. Also, happy birthday to my beautiful Ray Ray. Thank you for all your prayers. She's doing great. She's growing. She made the honor roll in her school. As you guys know, she goes to an ADHD school that caters to her, and she made the honor roll. So I'm really, really proud of her. And gosh, I love her to pieces. But thank you guys for everything, for your prayers, and we love you for that. All right, Scriptures in Wall Street. Thank you again for your time. And I'm so excited about the future. I'm so excited about 2026 on what I'm about to roll out. Our clients are going to be protected from what's to come. So in order for you to be protected, you got to give us a call. You got to give us a call. Let's get your money right. Let's be proactive. Let's be a good steward of everything. And don't forget to like and subscribe on Rumble as well as YouTube. And if you're trying to get in shape and lose weight and stop the food noise, maybe you were like me, you're hitting the pantry right before you go to bed, go to getmeleanusa.com. Or if you want like injectable peptides, you can also go to biolongevitylabs.com. Put in the promo code Cortez WM. If you haven't watched that podcast with Jay Campbell, holy smokes, what are you doing? Stop the video, go watch that. And you are going to get blown away about what you don't know, what Big Pharma has been holding back. So some awesome, amazing things that are just not in the financial world that I also want to talk about possibly this weekend. That is just, it's mind-boggling. So I just can't wait. Anyways, God bless you guys. Love y'all. Y'all be safe. Bye-bye.
In my veins, doctors shook their heads, but I broke them chains. Business attack, they tried to take my bread, but the Lord said,
So how many times have we gotten lost in the minutia of the everyday life? We've gotten fat, we've gotten lazy, we've gotten complacent, not just in our faith, but also our fitness, maybe our finances, maybe our marriage, maybe our family. But we've gotten complacent. And we constantly need to continue to grow. And one of the things I was weak at was in my fitness. As a former athlete, I thought I had it all. My ego got in the way. I'm like, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Up until now, I have been able to focus on my fitness. For those of you who've been following me for 3 or 4 years, you understand that I've gained a lot of weight. I've used the excuse of having 4 kids, a marriage, a business, helping out at church, all these excuses, and I keep putting myself in the back burner. This is deadly. And what I love about this company, what I love about taking ownership, is that GetMeLeanUSA.com has the ability to introduce natural, groundbreaking peptides. What your body demands, what your body needs to release those fat stored cells, to build muscle, to gain your physical being back to where it's naturally supposed to be. We're not talking about Big Pharma saying we're going to come out with the weight loss drug. We're not talking about losing muscle. We're talking about gaining muscle, gaining your physique back, controlling your appetite, giving you the edge that you need to help you get your body back in check the way God intended it to be, by using His resources with America First products, with America First company that aligns and believes in what you believe in. Introducing GetMeLeanUSA.com. Get in. This is going to be groundbreaking, huge, huge business opportunity as well as a huge groundbreaking technology that is going to change the landscape. So I know good things before I see it, and I highly recommend you get in. All you got to do is click the link below and get you some fit, get you some lean, and get fit and get lean. This is not going to do everything. Of course, diet and exercise, you continue your walking, continue your protein intake, but man, does it make it a whole lot easier to get in shape. Look at me, I've lost 60 pounds, but this is actually fundamentally a great recipe to get back in shape. And I can personally attest to the amazing effects of this product. So go to getmeleanusa.com. You won't regret it. You can cancel anytime. They're affordable and yet they're effective. And you are supporting our show. You're supporting yourself. You're supporting a mission. There is an affiliate program attached to it if you would want to share it with your friends and family. There's a whole nother opportunity there. But more importantly, let's get your fitness back in check. God bless you. Carlos Cortez here, signing out.